there. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, I think I said that in my last vlog. I think I said it was Tuesday, the 28th. Actually, today is Tuesday, the 28th. Yesterday was Monday. I'm losing my mind. I was sure that that Flo had gone and got some food the day before, but that must have been the Saturday. I mistook it for a Monday. Anyway, never mind. I'm just getting all the days mixed up. The important thing is that today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. Today is the 28th. And the end of the month is Thursday. 1st of May is Friday. It is 2:30 as I trip over some fucking what would you call them? They're not. It's like string, basically. Some plant that's like string. I had a good night's sleep last night, but we're both in bad form this morning. I looked out the window of the kitchen and I said, "Oh wow, you've put the old man sculptor in a different place. You've put it in with the plants." And of course, Flo says to me, "That just goes to show that not only do you never listen to me, you pretend to listen and say yes because I told you that yesterday." This is kind of something that happens all the time. I don't listen all the time, although I feel I do. I feel I'm always paying attention, but obviously I'm not. And Flo's got this kind of razor sharp recap mind. That's a stupid way of saying it. But she can remember everything in detail that happened. She's just got this memory for details, whereas, I could hardly tell you what I did yesterday. Anyway, that sets things off. She's in a bad mood about that. We were almost going to get into the same old shit about the Connemara. We won't go back. We'll just get different jobs. She says that as if it was. And that idea of me getting a job, it leads into I was just thinking, something else that Eckhart Tolle wrote about, which I thought was very, very true. The pain body, that's what he used to call it, didn't he? The pain body. And I suppose it's another way of putting it. It's like when you start to sink into that kind of state, it attracts all the other negative states to it from your past and even the present. So when I have that thought of me looking for another job in France, straight away, instead of thinking of it as, well, that could be interesting, if you could possibly look at it in an objective way, just to see how does a foreigner get along here looking for a job, or where might that go. But no, first thing I think about is, my God, how stupid I'm going to look, or I'm going to feel, because I won't understand people. And then I think, my God, no one's going to make any effort to speak slowly to me. My God, everyone's going to criticize me because I don't speak fluent French and I'm in the country, and they're going to dislike me, and I'm going to be useless. And it's that essence of the fear of appearing stupid. It's that's the core there, that's the center of it, and that's all that comes to mind. That's the pain body. And then all of a sudden my mind can just go all the way back to childhood, and I I can have the vagueness of Liam Egan and all those guys laughing at me. My mind go back to Conor Murphy doing an impression of me when I think he just did an impression like me, like I was an idiot. And someone like me has got a high opinion of himself, I suppose. Not a high opinion in other ways now, but in some things. I don't like that. So Eckhart Tolle is kind of right. I can relate to that. Because one sentence about something that we may want to try and do, it sets off this chain reaction. And in this chain reaction, all kinds of shit comes out of the woodwork. From the near past and the distant past. And that's changed into anger about this, anger about that. Why did I stay so long in the fucking bookie's office? Why didn't I maybe make more of an effort to learn French? Why am I the way I am? And it's a defense and it's an anger, and just from a simple statement of maybe we won't go back to the Connemara, maybe we both have to get different jobs. All kinds of fucking craziness comes out of it. And so the initial interaction, it's just like a trigger, it just flicks the switch on, and then the argument that me and Flo would have, the atmosphere later on, it's actually got nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's just that we've unleashed all these things inside us. We've unleashed all these negative forces inside us which kind of want expression. And so you're shouting at someone because ultimately you're feeling really angry with yourself, or angry with the world, or you're just feeling angry. And so you're throwing this around, and that's how it happens. You think you're angry, but you don't. If someone stops and goes, "Why exactly are you angry now?" In all honesty, you wouldn't be able to probably put your finger on it. Is it really because Flo said you might need to get another job? And if you're honest, you go, "Well, actually, no, that just triggers all kinds of other things in me. Those things make me angry." And then it can get back to the loyalty thing. And she's my wife, and why didn't she support me more? Why can't we accept situations? Why does it always have to go back to being my fault because I didn't do this or that or the other? Why am I always made to feel bad? Anyway, I left quite quickly this time. And I didn't say anything, and I think that was an achievement. I didn't kick back with anything because that's hard not to do. You just let it go. And you think Flo's got every right to be angry. But you just realize it's not really about you. It's the anger, it's a force, like like you've just expressed, when it gets mixed up in all other kind of things that come rushing in. It's almost impossible not to just let it rip, But at the end of the day, Flo would probably agree that it's not really about me, not as much as I might think it is. If she's honest with herself, she's probably quite disappointed the way things have gone as well, more so than me. I've always been quite proud of the fact that we had a business, or have a business. I think she always expected something else. And well, she's envious. I think women suffer from that more than men sometimes. I think she's envious of people. what do you do? Well, the initial step is the right thing to do. You get the hell out, if you can. You get into this green nature. You listen to the birds. And you try and work on yourself, because this is there ever a better moment to work on yourself when you're in the grips of this kind of anger and irritation and just this negative side of things that comes up. I was saying earlier, is there anything to do with the fact that because a lot of people think, oh, my life's a waste. You know, I get up, I play games and go to bed. I don't, but I think I'm moved beyond kind of that, because I really don't think that's the point here, you know. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to feel these things. It's not what you're doing, it's how you're being, it's the way you feel. So one should never ascribe one's feelings to one's life, because it's as stupid as saying, if I only have a DJI drone, I will be happy ever after. Of course you won't. You know what I mean? If I could get this or that, I'd be happy ever after. You won't. And looking at it in life, it's the same thing. If I could achieve this position in life, I'd be happy ever after. If I could have a best-selling book. Basically, the reason for the book, the whole business, is just if I could be known. If I could be a guest and someone would want to know what I think about something. And all the people listening or watching would be like, I can't wait to hear what he has to say, because I like what he thinks about things. That's really what it boils down to. That's what you want. The book is just a means to achieve a certain, and I don't think it's crazy or anything. I don't even think it's really egotistical. I think it's just a human thing. You want to be recognized. I've been saying that for years. It's like the baby. The baby is born with a sense of humor somehow. I always find that amazing. Get babies laughing hysterically at things. I think the need for recognition and the need to be somebody is just, it's right there at the beginning. Maybe Jung would call them archetypes, but it's not something culture gives you. Culture may play around with it, but I think that urge is just there. It's just it's just one of those human conditions that we'd like to fulfill. But the way we feel on a day-to-day basis, that lack of recognition, even the recognition is not going to cure the way we feel from day to day. You might think it would, but it won't. Right now, if I had a couple of hundred emails from people telling me nice things about myself, it's not going to change the way I feel now. It doesn't work. It's nothing to do with the exterior of this feeling. That doesn't get away from the fact that recognition is there, an important part. I always feel at times like this, the best advice I can give myself is when I say, you know, you just need to drop everything. It doesn't matter. The little situation with you and Flo doesn't matter. Connemara doesn't matter. Your attitude doesn't matter. Your French doesn't matter. You can drop so many of these things. If you can drop them and regain some kind of peace in yourself, get to a spot of inner peace with your surroundings, where you can allow flow to just let rip. Allow her to get everything out of her system and direct it all squarely at you. Let her hit you right between the eyes with it all, but you be in a place that doesn't matter, because you've dropped all this stuff off. And you know that flow is in as much distress as you at these times when that force takes over, the pain body that Eckhart Tolle talked about. He talked about it very elegantly. And he's right. As soon as you get into this mood, it attracts all the same stuff. And it's like this big ball of past disappointments, past resentments. They all come together, and that's, before you know it, you're shouting at each other, and it's got very little to do on the subject matter of the argument. You're just letting vent all your anger. And if you were in such a place that you were aware that that's what flow is doing, and you allowed it to do it, yeah, it'd be great. Nothing wrong with venting. It's just two people blindly venting without any awareness of what's going on is a kind of dangerous thing. Because all you probably do in that sense is you just add to this big fucking ball of resentment and anger and irritation and sadness. Because you're just blindly saying things. But if one person could be aware, then that changes the dynamic. So it's always the best thing I think I've managed to come up with. I haven't any other great plan with this. It's just a case of it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't really matter how you feel. That doesn't really matter. Being angry or irritated or resentful doesn't matter either. You can drop them. You know, they matter when you blindly let them lead you. They matter when they're in control. They matter when you're dreaming up scenarios to keep them alive. But when you've got just that little bit of distance with them, which happens in nature, when you can just get back to yourself, then you realize they don't matter. You can drop them all. You can drop your states. Yeah. That's one happy bird. They always catch us unawares, these things. We need to get into the habit of becoming aware of them as quickly as we can. We need to become curious about these states and how to manage them. How to manage them, to see them as a certain logic, you know, to realize, oh wow, I'm running on anger here. This is nothing to do. There's no logic in this. This is just it's like a large wave of anger has just washed over me. And I am now kind of, at this moment, I am literally insane. I'm not rational at all. And so I'm liable to say anything. The notion of dropping things off, this has been a long, long time there. And it's that thing, don't kill yourself, someone would say one time. At the end of the day, we're angry, and it's destructive, the emotions. And I don't want to say that it's not necessary at times to vent stuff, to get rid of maybe some excess energy or something, I don't know. But a lot of the emotions that we carry around with us, they don't do us any good at all. I mean, it's okay in moderation to feel sorry for yourself occasionally, but to go around in a state of grief almost because you just feel that you're not going to be able to cope with invisible situations. This is the thing, when you start, your life starts to be run by the thinking process. There's no logic in it. You start getting all stressed about something that you have no idea of the ifs and whens and whys or anything else. You just see yourself looking for a job and not speaking French, and that puts you in a state of stress, and you feel your chest contract, and it's all based on fear itself. That's that classic thing, we've got nothing to fear but fear itself, because there's no event there, you're just making it up, basically. You're putting yourself in a state of fear, or anxiety, or irritation. You're doing it to yourself. There isn't any real need for it. There may be times you're walking down the street and you lose your wallet and 300 quid in it or something. Well, you can be angry and irritated about that, I guess. It might be natural. Although even in that situation, what's done is done, and you're feeling irritated about it isn't going to bring the wallet back. It's really that simple. Being angry and irritated is an attitude. And it's an attitude and a state that has got nothing to do with... It doesn't help anything, You can be very determined and patient with something, and that can have an effect on you achieving something. But just the emotion of anger, irritation, all things, they don't do anything. So they must be dropped. They must be dropped. I'm going to switch off now, because I don't know, I just have the urge to give it a break here. I may come back a bit later, but let's leave it at that 24 minutes.